Spiritual Teaching 223. Love one another. 1. I have come down to you to look for you, because you have been walking away from the path for a long time, and you do nothing to find the true way. 2. You needed my presence as a master, and that is why I have presented myself among you to give you courage, strength, and faith to fight for your salvation. 3. Great spiritual ignorance envelops humanity. It has not given account of her destiny or responsibility on earth, and that is why she lost the path. 4. Man does not know who he is, so he does not know how much he treasures in his spirit. It has been specified to develop its human faculties, but those of the spirit he has ignored because of his lack of interest in what is high and noble. 5. How could humanity discover the powers that it carries? 6. It has been necessary for me to approach your heart to awaken you from the deep spiritual lethargy in which you were engulfed, and reminded you that you are not just matter, that you are not small and less outcast. 7. Hearing my word, filled with joy, you said to me, Lord, is it possible that there are so many gifts in our being? Then you have begun to understand something of who you are and what you mean in the universe. 8. Sometimes you question the gifts of which I have told you that you are possessors, and I tell you that your doubt comes from not having developed them, so they cannot manifest themselves in the way you would like. 9. It is true that there are cases in which with only faith you can do amazing works, but you should know that it was my love, the one that granted you that prodigy to encourage your faith, even when you still were not qualified to carry out that work. 10. Long is the development of the powers of the Spirit, so much so that a single body is not enough for him. Not a single existence on earth is enough, but my providence, which is in everything, is preparing for each spirit new bodies in which can continue his development, helping him in his improvement, so that he can get to the place that is destined. I tell you, because I have surprised you thinking that there is very little that you have achieved in comparison with what you have been told that you possess. Then doubts arise in your heart, and decay invades you. 11. With what I have now told you, you will be able to understand that it will not be possible for you in a single existence to develop in all their capacity the gifts of which your spirit is formed, because they form the part of a being that belongs to the eternal, that is part of the infinite. It is natural that in such a short life, such as the life of man on earth, you cannot see the full development of some of your gifts. 12. However, I must clarify that not by knowing that in the present existence you will not be able to reach the maximum development of your gifts, you will falter in your efforts to achieve your evolution. Conversely, think that if in a single existence you could contemplate the full development of your spiritual gifts, these would be very small. 13. I only ask that you take a step in each reincarnation, but that it be a firm step towards perfection. Then it will be your spirit that notices its advancement, manifesting itself more and more wisdom through those bodies that are being entrusted to him. 14. Now you are in preparation. All the gifts that you possess have already been revealed to you by my word, and she has made known to you the mission that you will have to fulfill in your spiritual journey. 15. You have already been tested with the tests that a spirit must undergo to receive a message or a message of divine revelation. It only remains for you to start your development, in the confidence that your path will be illuminated with the light of consciousness, which will always tell you what to do. 16. You would like your communication from spirit to spirit to be perfect, that the gift of clairvoyance had manifested in fullness, that the healing power allowed you to perform a prodigy in each case, and that the gift of word flourish on your lips, overflowing with consolation, wisdom, and prophecies. More when you convince yourself that you are still far from reaching those heights, You become sad and you become silent and say nothing. But what, disciples? Don't you understand that much of what you want to achieve depends on your preparation? 17. You well know what preparation the disciple must have to be able to recreate himself with the fruit of his spirituality, and that is to lead a clean life, to be ready to pray, to serve your fellow men, to resist temptations, so that when you need your spiritual strength and your gifts to carry out some work of love, you find your being willing, and thus have the satisfaction of seeing it done. The prodigy that you requested from your Father in your prayer is a reality. 18. Then you will be able to see the first lights of the great day announced by prophets and sent long ago. You can feel how I descend in spirit to speak to you about the eternal life that awaits you all, because you are all destined for her. 19. Even the intimacy of your being I penetrate, to prove to you that for me there are no barriers or obstacles that prevent my light from reaching the bottom of your spirit. 20. I come to say to men, since they have walked through material life, disregarding their duties and the mission of your spirit, that I send you this message of wisdom so that you prepare and know how to penetrate to spiritual life when each is called. 21. I come to tell you that, since here on earth you have blocked the way of the Spirit, at least let him prepare for when you no longer have a need for the flesh. 22. Do you think that life becomes concrete to your existence on earth? Do you think that my law and my doctrine only illuminate your life in the world? No, multitudes who listen to my word. The law I did not give it to your body. I came to illuminate your spirit with it. 23. I know why I speak to you in this way, because my gaze discovers among the mobs those men who need me to speak to them that way. 24. They are the materialists, those who do not see beyond where their eyes can see, without believing that beyond your mind and your senses is where eternity, truth, and wisdom begin. 25. You do not need me to speak like that. To those who are already beginning to let the Spirit rule in their works, in his thoughts and throughout his life. Those who are beginning to shed in their spirit bindings of the world. They arrived materialized before the manifestation of my word, without knowing what they heard, without understand their meaning. And I also touched them in what they loved the most in their life. 26. The kingdom of the Spirit is infinite, and to reach the elevation that allows you to enjoy it and live it, it is necessary to know the way and have light to ascend it. But don't think that I despise your material life. No, disciples, why should I despise it if I prepared it for you? Understand that life in the material world is also part of life in the spiritual, infinite, and eternal realm. 27. Precisely the purpose that my word comes to fulfill among you is to show you the right way where you must travel to achieve spirituality. 28. When I speak of the spiritual life, I am not specifically referring to the existence of disembodied spirits, but I make you understand that spiritual life is everywhere because everything proceeds from it. 29. Only the light of that life can reveal the truth to you. Only in it can men understand how much they want and need to know. 30. Those who insist on ignoring the life of the Spirit will only be poor beings that will live on earth walking aimlessly, stumbling and falling, not realizing that deep down they hold the key to the door of eternity and also carry the lamp that can illuminate the path that leads to peace, wisdom, and happiness. 31. But my charity comes to awaken them from their lethargy. It comes to raise up the last, so that they help the first in the struggle of this time against materialism, in all that they have not been able to do. 32. The world is prepared and purifying by pain, waiting for the disciples of the Divine Master. Humanity is going through an hour of testing. 33. Understand how great your mission is. 34. I will illuminate your path when its light is dim for a moment, so that your spirit does not stumble or be confused, because you are the emissaries of peace, the possessors of an eternal revelation. 35. Your worship will not be contaminated by foreign influences, nor will you fall back into spiritual slavery. 36. Men will not come to put before your eyes the image of their Lord, because my true image they have not yet been able to find it, despite carrying it in themselves. 37. In each man there is an afterlife, an arcane, an infinity, a mystery. There is the sanctuary where the Father dwells, whose door is closed, because you have not known to penetrate into your interior. Man has not been able to find the true sanctuary that he carries with him. Just go out and feel the outside. It is matter and bodily senses. 38. This is a time when all humanity spiritually sleeps. There is no single religion that elevates to its God true worship. You will rise to give my word, bearing witness to the Master by your example, without works of love. My doctrine will not have strength on your lips. 39. I will send you to the nations when I see you prepared, when there is truth in your spirit and in your flesh. Then you can solve the big conflicts. You will be able to go through great whirlwinds without being taken away. You will be able to withstand storms and go through thick darkness, because you will already be opening your eyes to a light superior to all human science. 40. Since you are humble, you are destined to draw many veils before philosophers and sages. For all you will be peace, consolation, and redemption. 41. In all the peoples of the earth, I am giving signs of my new manifestation through intuition and dreams. The echo of my steps is already heard nearby. 42. Understand how much I love you. Why do you fear? Whoever is within my law has nothing to fear from me. 43. You are listening to me with respect and preparation, and yet you fear me. It is because your conscience tells you that you are not yet doing perfect works. 44. Comply with your God and with your kind. Pay your debt of gratitude, and you will all be received by me. 45. If some people stop along the way due to clumsiness, lack of study, lack of spirituality, or ignorance, then others do not stop, but give your help to the one who falls and awaken the one who sleeps. 46. Truly I tell you that the first ones will not reach the true fulfillment on this earth, nor will you even when you advance on the path. Others will come later, who will take another step forward. After them, others who go further, and so on. But while they are advancing in their evolution, you will already have scaled spiritually. From what I tell you, the first must always clear the way for the last. 47. Soon you will leave this body, and upon entering the spiritual world, you will be convinced that your journey was not sterile on this earth, and that the knowledge of spiritualism allowed you, by detaching yourself from matter, to spread the wings of the Spirit to get close to your Father. 48. Encourage the hope of that new life, and you will be consoled in the vicissitudes that you now suffer in this valley of tears, blood, and death. 49. Make your brothers my disciples. See how the latter understands that you will not be able to offer him evil fruit. 50. Humanity is reaching a certain spiritual maturity to understand your destiny. 51. After 1950, this doctrine will not decline. Rather, it will flourish. The work will intensify, and the golden books will be opened so that wisdom sprouts from them, and you come to understand what you did not understand before. The writings containing my maxims and my parables will be carried from region to region, from home to home, and from heart to heart. 57. All religions will be judged, and the most powerful will be the most touched. You do not know which of them take his throne of greatness to transfer it to other lands. fleeing from my justice. 58. Today I want to tell you that among you no material temples or altars of fanaticism will be erected. Rite and tradition, they will disappear. No priests or ministers will rise before you. 59. You will not have any authority or power to give titles of holiness to any human being. 60. Those who achieve great spiritual communication with my divinity will be the most humble. 61. The time has come when there is not a stone on stone from imperfect worship, when the only temple is in the interior of man, the altar in his heart, the offering in his works, the lamp in his faith, and the bell in his voice that wake up the sleeping spirits. 62. I come to speak to you with love so that you will recognize me for that love. 63. You are little creatures whom I lead on the path of spiritual elevation and whom I forgive their faults, so that they learn to forgive their fellow men. 64. Analyze my word syllable by syllable, so that you may be strong in spirit and may be like a staff among humanity. 65. I have given you my light with which you can illuminate your brothers. With that power you will unleash, in imitation of Jesus, to the spirits in darkness who, chained and disturbed, find themselves populating the universe. 66. My light encompasses and envelops everything, because all of you have sprouted from my spirit. You belong to me and you will have to return to me. 67. Do not think that I come only after the people of Israel. Certainly, in you I have deposited from the beginning laws, offices, and orders, to become my disciples who are to teach humanity, who are to be the light of the blind, the staff of the paralytic, the balm for the leper. Therefore, I have only left you as older brothers. Also, I want you to understand that when I refer to these hardships, I am speaking of blindness of the spirit, of lack of movement or spiritual freedom, and from leprosy that is vice and sin. Know that it is your spirit that I come to save, although your material is also worthy of my charity, but I give it in addition. 68. In your spirit there is a great curative power that has not been manifested in all its fullness, due to your lack of faith and trust in that gift. 69. The spirit is clothed with my grace, but it stumbles over the weakness of the flesh. Fight for harmony and unification between your spirit and your matter, so that you can do my will. 70. My word is crystal clear water that I offer you so that you will not feel thirsty again in this world. 71. Humanity through its religions and sects seeks me and loves me, and she receives my caress and my light. 72. On different rungs of the ladder are the spirits, but I love all of them in the same way, and I give them the means of reaching the top. In the same way you must love your brothers, regardless of the degree of spiritual elevation that they possess. 73. I want you to fully open your heart, to make my home there and light the torch of faith there. I want to teach you to feel the pain of others as if it were your own. 74. The tribes of this people will be spiritually unified before the great hardships prophesied. 75. Now you have to make merits so that the world reaches light on its path and spiritually combats selfishness and to the hatred that have once again seized the heart of humanity. 76. Blessed is he who listens to me and opens the doors of his heart, because he will be my good disciple. 77. Give shelter in your hearts to faith, hope, and charity, so that there may be absolute trust in your Lord, so that you do not feel fatigue on the way, nor stop, and that you do works of piety among those who suffer. 78. This is the seed that I have always come to entrust to you. But if you have not done perfect works like your father, it is because you are still halfway there and your flesh still sins. All this I know, and that is why I look for you with infinite patience. 79. So lesson after lesson, I am forming the book of wisdom that I will leave before your eyes, and when I lift my word, in it you will find the lessons that will encourage you to continue walking on the path of your fulfillment, of hope, in pursuit of the earth that I have offered you, which is my own bosom. My peace be with you.